I know a lot of you at this point are itching for some more gameplay before the demo starts in a few hours, so I figured I'd bite and I'd let you see the rest of the Stronghold gameplay that we captured, and of course the Ash Titan battle. Just as a reminder, this video is thanks to EA Game Changers because of the capture event in London. They invited me out, gave me about 8 to 10 hours to play the game, giving my total hours of playtime on Anthem to about 16 to 18. It varies because there were breaks in between the days, but a good amount. My name is Ryan Central. If you want more Anthem videos, then do subscribe. We have a giveaway going on at the moment for a Legion of Dawn and standard copy of Anthem. Really easy to enter, it's in the comments. Let's start by talking about the Strongholds first. This is the Tyrant Mine. This will be the Stronghold instance dungeon, whatever you want to call it, in the VIP demo. In our playtest, we were able to play the Stronghold straight away, but that might not be the case for the VIP demo. For example, you might need to get to level 15 before you unlock it. I don't know at this point. But we were level 10 and severely undergeared, and this gameplay that you're seeing was played on easy. We could have probably done normal or maybe even hard, but myself, Arix and Willis, who are playing in this gameplay, wanted to have a nice streamlined run through of the Stronghold to show you guys instead of us just dying over and over again. But as you can see, I go down and take quite a lot of damage. This was also my first time playing a Ranger, and it did take a couple of tries to really get used to the abilities that you have. The reason why I wanted to add the Stronghold stuff in here is because we got the news that there's only going to be 3 Strongholds in launch. There's going to be this one, the Temple of the Scars one that we saw on a live stream before, this one if you remember, and another one which I do know the name of, but it's story spoiler so I don't want to reveal it. I'm not going to lie, the news left me incredibly disappointed that we're only going to be having 3 Strongholds in the game for launch. It's not strictly damning information that means that the game is going to be awful when we get to play the end game. I'll get onto that in a second. The difficulty system, the fact that you can play 4 classes whenever you basically want, and all of the builds and playstyles you can make, it means that replaying certain content isn't as much of a chore as you may think it is. I mean, I've done Lost Arcanist, the first mission in the game, about 5 or 6 times, and it's still fun because I play it on different javelins, play it in different styles, on my own, in a group. The replayability factor of Anthem is in there, but it is still sad to hear that this really nice, fine content that I think suits Anthem to a T, there's only going to be 3 of. There might be more after launch, maybe a couple of weeks, a month after the game officially launches, we might start to see a bit more. But I did want to sort of bring that news to you as we've been traveling through the Tyrant Mine. One of the big problems that I think we had in the group is we had no voiceover stuff. We didn't have headsets on that we could hear each other on. We could just hear the game. And so we didn't really have that synergy that you would expect from, playing with friends on Discord or actually using the voiceover stuff in game. We didn't really have that synergy being able to use combos between us. And because of that, we really struggled. So I do think that when you play in harder difficulties, you need your friends on board. You need to be able to have a good mix of primers and detonators, because I think in this group, the majority of us were running detonating abilities, but we had nothing to prime it. So that's a huge DPS loss for all of us. I love how big the Strongholds are. They're vast, open areas, and then sometimes very closed in, with only one way to break on through. The amount of traveling from point A to point B in a dungeon like this is really fun and engaging. It's not, frustrating in any sense. And the environment is great. You start in a vast open area trying to take out turrets and shut down a Shaper relic that's gone a bit nuts, into an enclave where there's lots of these monsters, and of course get to a boss at the end, picking up loot as you go. Like I said, this is on easy and it was still a good amount of a challenge, so I'm going to play a bit more of the Stronghold mission and then show you a little piece of the final boss, not the whole thing. You can experience that for yourself in the VIP demo. If you do have any questions, do ask me in the comments or come over to my Twitch, where I should be streaming now, and ask me stuff there, because I will be streaming for the rest of the day, as well as giving away some VIP demo codes as I mentioned, so do check that out. Anyway, here's some more of the Stronghold, and then the final boss, the Swarm Tyrant.
that.
Too bad. I'm just getting started.
It got quiet.
Bet it'll stay that way.
It's pretty dark in here.
Throw down a flare. It'll help.
You freelancers have tools for everything.
Back into the deep.
Oh, that's just wrong.
Remember? It's only a scorpion. But bigger.
A lot bigger.
You're not helping.
It would be unprofessional to cut the link, right?
Highly.
Damn it.
Next time, I expect big-ass bugs to be in the mission briefing.
You'd have to show up for that to help.
Seeing as you guys asked so politely in the last YouTube video that we did, let's go over some of the Ash Titan gameplay, the ancient Ash Titan, which means it is very much a big boss out in the world. With any luck, you'll experience this in the VIP demo, but as I said, I don't really know if it's going to be in there or not. This was the early game that we tried where we found it. We'll leave some of the gameplay on in the background. I actually have a fair few attempts fighting an Ash Titan, but only one that we successfully beat it. I'll show you that one as we go on, but I feel like this other gameplay really shows exactly how to really take on some of these boss battles. The reason why we lost to these Titans specifically is something that I'll go over now. So we were fighting this Ash Titan for a good amount of time until one of the devs came over and basically said, yeah, you're not going to be able to kill that. We were too undergeared. Some of the times you'll run into Titans that will just be too strong that it will take you like half an hour to an hour to try and kill them. You could try and cheese it a little bit, but ultimately it might be just a waste of time. You don't get any specific loot from killing an Ash Titan. You will just get random drops. So it could be just two white abilities. It could be just two common ones. So you've got to be fairly efficient when you're doing these kind of things because it might just, again, be a massive waste of time. The Ash Titan has 4 main weak areas that you could shoot at. If you shoot at his normal rocky skin, you're not going to do an awful lot of damage. So you need to shoot his arms when they're glowing, his chest when it's about to laser people, and also his back. The best time to shoot his arms, or any part of him that's glowing, is when it's glowing instead of when he's sort of waiting to attack. It can also interrupt attacks if you time it right and do a good amount of damage. But as you're seeing, you can see the yellow damage that we're doing actually to him. So don't bother shooting the Ash Titan unless you can really hit his weak points. The Ash Titan has 5 main abilities, so we'll go over them one by one. The first is a fairly straightforward one. He summons a bunch of ads that will follow you around. You might want to clear them because if you're on the ground a good amount of the time, they will just overrun you if you're not careful. So it's good to have somebody just on ad cleanup up. It's not necessary, but it can be helpful when stuff gets a bit crazy and you just need a little bit of space for yourself. The second ability, he puts explosions where you're previously stood, so basically get moving. You can see them spawn, you can either dash to a side or just move out the way completely. It's just a system in place to make sure that you're constantly moving around the battlefield, not just staying on top of one of these mushrooms, for example, and just doing as much damage as you possibly can. So just be aware that those abilities may spawn on you now and again. We then have the fire rings, which are fairly easy to spot. Just try and get up high or get out the way completely. You can hide behind certain objects to protect yourself though, so you should have enough time to get out of the way. The fourth ability is the Ash Titan summons some orbs, which will chase you down. You need to dash or block it at the right time, otherwise they will do quite a lot of damage to you if you're not careful. These home in on you, so you might want to be behind some cover, or just try and time your dash to the right time. And finally, you've seen this from the gameplay way back when, but the laser that the Titan fires out of his chest. With this, you just gotta move. If he's looking towards you and he's about to use it, you can tell because his chest starts glowing, then you want to get moving. All of these abilities do quite a lot of damage, but the main problem is that they do fire damage, therefore overheating your engine. So if you get hit by some of these abilities, they will knock you out the sky. And because of that, it can be really difficult, because when you're on the ground, the ads will start chasing you, so you really need to be careful. The real problem and the real issue with fighting an Ash Titan, if you're not careful, is being overheated constantly, and then when he starts using abilities like the firewall or the laser, you can't get anywhere. You can't fly away to safety, you're an open target. So the key really is to hover to try and find some form of cover in case the Ash Titan fires a laser at you, or some of the flaming orbs. As a storm, I would definitely recommend trying to hover in the air like this. You tend to be protected from a good amount of different stuff. You've just got to bear in mind when the Ash Titan looks at you, when he's about to use his chest laser, and then also dash at the right time when the orbs come out. It's a really good vantage point. The storm could hover a lot longer than all of the other classes, so be sure to make good use and advantage of that. But here's a really good example of just how much damage the orbs could do. My engines have overheated, and I'm constantly panicking on trying to find somewhere safe to stand and regenerate my shield and health. One thing that you do need to bear in mind as well is some Ash Titans might spawn in with some world events. For example, we have this one called Strider Trouble, which was just an outer world event. Of course, there's an Ash Titan here, but you can see that the first objective that we need to do is opening the Strider Bay door, which nobody did because we were too busy focusing on the Ash Titan. So what ended up happening? Well, the Strider and the Ash Titan just despawned. Which leads us to believe that because we didn't do the first objective by opening the Strider Bay door and saving the people inside, the event just stopped. It cancelled, we failed it, and therefore we couldn't take on the Ash Titan. So do pay attention to if your Ash Titan that spawned is part of a world mission or just out in the world and about. Now that we've gone over a few examples of there, let's show you how to actually take down one successfully by showing you the end of this Ash Titan fight. And it does get pretty crazy. There is definitely a final phase of this boss, and Christ, it's good fun. And that's everything that I wanted to go over in this video, just some new gameplay before you get to check it out yourself. Really scratch that itch for those that are really desperate to get into the VIP demo. If you want to experience more, again, I'll be live on Twitch very soon today, trying to show off all of the different classes and javelins, as well as the giveaway stuff that's going on at the moment. So be sure to add into all of that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.